we're working through the whole defensive system. And the one thing that's kind of new to the defensive system is how do we coordinate? And when we talk about coordinating, I talk about weekly game planning, how we structure practice, and how we game plan. And I really believe they're an extension of each other. So we're going to break them down into two parts, but I call it a defensive coordinator's in-season guide. And the first thing we do is we have to organize our weekly plan. There is a weekly schedule that we need to follow. And I think just like for kids, coaches need that structure. We play on Friday nights, and on Saturdays, we don't do much. We watch a lot of college football. So what happens is on Saturday morning, we all get up really early, and we self-evaluate our film. And we really look at, and we do the same thing on offense, where we evaluate effort, the technique of our kids, how are we on money downs, third down, and red zone defense. I send a review to the players. I mark up the films by 9 o'clock, and I send it to them. Somewhere during the course of the day, my staff has to get the rest of the film edited. I put in certain things. Everybody's got a little different section, and that's how we do it. Sunday's a big work day for us, and I mean a big work day for us. I get up at 6:30. I send out the calendar to the kids. At 7 o'clock, I start breaking down scout film, and I work on what are our opponent's best formations and best plays. I want to take away their best plays and best formations. I want to know what kind of personnel they use in the red zone, top and the bottom. How are they on series starters? How are they on first down? How are they on third down? What do they like to do in third and short, third and regular, third and long? At 11 o'clock, I board the game plan, okay? And my offensive coordinator boards the offensive game plan. All right, at 12 o'clock, the staff will meet, and we make all our corrections and post them on offense, defense, and kicking game. We do the same thing with our depth chart. Who moves in, who moves out, who's hurt, who's going to be healthy. All right, who needs to be challenged, who doesn't. And then we create game plans. We put an emphasis on the practice goals of the week. What do we want to get done? And at 4 o'clock, I try to get done because I'm going to still work. At 5 o'clock, I work on practice schedules for the week. And then I work on the scout cards. And every scout card is computerly drawn. Every scout card is printed. We do not at any time, okay, try to repeat using cards because it screws it up. At 8 p.m., the defensive game plan, we start to work to create it in scouting report, and we try to send it to the players. And at 10 o'clock, I get to go turd fishing, just like my offensive coordinator does. Who's bad? Who do I want to get the matchups on in blitz? I want to find the matchups, and by midnight, I want to be wrapping up. And at 12 o'clock, I put on my music, I put on a little Midnight Rider, and I go to work for a little bit longer. Simple ways we break things down. We call the black zone when people are backed up. Regular opponent is like people call it the minus. All right? Regular us is when they're in our territory. Top of the red, bottom of the red, and goal line. All important. Do they use different people? What are they looking to do in here? That's going to influence my play calling. Okay? Series starters. Are they a big series starters team? Do they do something different? What do they do on 1st and 10? What do they do on money downs? All right? I'm big into personnel groups. Okay? Do they rotate players? Okay? Who are the key players in the group? All right? Do they have anything that has specificity of formation? Is there one formation that equals one play? Tell me, how have they scored? Number 2, what are their big plays they've had? Why? And what are their 2-point plays? We do the same thing on offense because this is where the game is won. You win here. You win by the changing tendencies here. And you win here. This is where the emphasis of our study is. Tendencies. Formation, series, and plays. Do they do certain things with a tight end recessed? We do. Okay. Personnel. Do they do something different in the red zone? Do they do something new at the start of series? Tell me, third and short, are they a shot team? Or they're going to take a shot? Or are they just going to run the ball and try to get it? What do they do in third and long? Are they a draw and screen team? Okay, what do they do? Third and regular. What do they do? Okay, you got to get a feel for that. What do they do? I always say third and short. They're going, and like I watch the film, I go third and short. You know what they are? They're I'm going to get it team. So I start thinking of my third and short calls in my head. Okay, and then all of a sudden they come off the ball and they throw like a post cut. I go, whoo-hoo! Maybe that's a problem. Okay, and then as I start to put my game plan, I put it on the board. There's my game plan board. Okay, offense on the left, defense on the right. All right, and then I start to fill out my game plan board. All right, personnel groups. What do they do in 10 personnel for a 10 personnel team? Do they use 11 personnel? What do they do? Other personnel groups, and I start defending them in my mind by personnel groups. If they're a multi-personnel group, I'm going to have a call sheet for each personnel group. I'm going to have a game plan for 11, 10, or 12 personnel. Okay, it might not be as extensive. Okay, and then what I do in base defense, I put up my calls. Here's what I'm going to do in coverage. Here's what I'm going to do in a zone concept. Here's what I'm going to do in a man concept. When I go dime, what am I going to do? Here's what I'm going to do in dime. Am I going to play with an extra back or an extra corner if I'm going to sub out and get to a different type, like a penny package or an extra heavy package? I put it all up on the board so there is never any doubt what we're going to do. Because the worst thing you can do is make it a surprise to your coaches. And then what happens is I put it into a scouting report. And I send it to my kids. And our scouting reports are extensive. They're about 40 pages. And then I put everything in it. I put everything in it. In the annex or the supplementary materials in my system, I will include a scouting report. Scouting report, usually on the front cover, we'll talk about the game, we'll talk about a history of the game, then we'll break down personnel, who's good, who's not. I like to compare it to players to us. I think sometimes that gives our kids an idea of who they're going to play. I'll talk about if a kid has some tendency issues. Does he tip when he's in his stance? I talk about I take all their formations and I diagram how we're going to line up to them. I show all their best plays diagrammed against our stuff, and then I include the calls. The key for our kids is to have an understanding on Monday, because we can't meet with our kids on Sunday. Okay, the understanding is for our kids to know how they are going to line up. They better know how they are to line up against their opponent when they come to school on Monday. Okay, in our weekly schedule and script. Okay, our practice reps should mirror the tendencies of the offensive breakdown. If we are going to see 40% of inside zone, then we're going to see 40% of their inside run be inside run plays. Okay, we're going to organize how we rotate our players. We're going to create our scout teams the night before with backups. Okay, and then we are going to take what we're weakest at, and we are going to try to make that a technique emphasis to create situations where their best plays fail because our technique and recognition is so great. On Monday, we have what's called Accountability Monday. And if you're winning, it's fine. But if you're losing, you better be careful. Because on Accountability Monday, we come in and we shut the doors and we let it fly. Okay? It is old school. There's no punches pulled. I don't care who it is. I'll start off. I always start off with Coach Fox on 3rd and 8 against a team with screen tendency. You brought a 7-man pressure, which created a 21-yard gain. Coach Fox, that wasn't your best call. And then I'll work down the list. Also on Monday, we line up and we will play base defense versus their base offense in practice. We have one segment of alignment assignment. We have one segment of team. We film. All right, until defensive meeting, we install blitz. best formation, best plays, alignment, and fit film review. Because on Monday, that's all the time we get. Because the offense has to have the ball because, they're the offense. All right? On Tuesday, we get more time. It is base defense versus base offense. We have two fundamental periods. We have a small group period. We have one segment of team run that we film. We have one segment of team skelly. We have one segment of team blitz that we film, and then we study in our meetings, our huddle film on 3rd and long. So that's what we have on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we review base defense versus base offense. We have one segment of team run that we film. We have a segment of skelly, and we have one segment of team blitz versus film. And once again, we review all 3rd down plays. So it's about a 50-50 day on Wednesday. Thursday's a work day for us. We have one segment of team run, film. We have one segment of skelly. We have one segment of team blitz that we'll film, and we emphasized 3rd and long on Thursdays. So here we go. We work hard on we go an hour and a half on Thursday. Most people are done in like 30 minutes. Here's a call sheet for us. That's what a script looks like. All our coverages, all our blitzes, and we are pushing tempo on the scout teams to help us line up and play fast. Now, that's how we organize practice for the week. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the second segment. And in that second segment, I'm going to talk about game plan ideas and how we execute game plans during games.